Why don't they talk about Fish 123? Maybe not anymore. Because I think they lost like 13-3 maybe yesterday. It was something crazy like that on Split. I can double check in a second just so I'm not, spreading fake news or anything. But this is going to be an absolute slobber knocker. And I was correct. Angel has been playing a little bit more Omen as of recently on maps. Certainly like Haven. Then again, it's hard to say because PartyParrots always ban Haven when they get the opportunity. Ascent was banned by Too Good for Land first. PartyParrots banned Haven, so we now got to split after we played Unbind. The third map is decided by whoever takes the most rounds out with these two games. So, it's more likely to be PartyParrots, let's be fair. 13-1 scoreline is pretty dominant in that fashion. And this is a particular play that really Fish123 struggled with yesterday. It forces the defenders to play on the site because they can't really play close contact against a colossal team that is PartyParrots when they play this close together. Inks likes to play this anchor role. Wants to be the one rotating from site to site and is going to move over to B now as the rotation has come in a bit preemptively from Too Good for Land. He has been spotted though. Replin is holding in behind the site. He's going to spot a few more, but his position given up. Gets caught in a crossfire. There's only so much that he can realistically do against all of those guns pointed directly at him. The Sage Wall comes up. The plant is going to come in with about 10 seconds left to spare. And yet again, for the billionth time it feels, Too Good for Land have to get this retaken. And they've not had one successful one so far, I don't think. The one round that they did win Unbind, I think, was just a frag out. Chow's holding close, but thinks he's going to be able to cover for more. Embo is the last alive. It's a 1 versus 2. He is low health. You can sort of see roughly where the positioning is of the other players. He's going to get found out. He's going to get pushed. And because he's only 10 health, it's an easy kill for SSK. But yet again, it puts PartyParrots in the lead to begin this round. Just 12 more and they're in the finals. Speaking of which, chat, for those that follow the scene, what do you think the finals is going to be? Is it going to be PartyParrots or Too Good for Land from this game? Or is it going to be from the other semi-final, started from CS versus Prodigy, which will start about 3 PM CEST? Putting a lot of pressure now onto Replan. He tried to peek a bit close but was paranoid away and even took a bit of chip damage, so he needs to be very careful that he's not peeking these angles. Tries to right click spray but doesn't really get too much damage in onto anybody on this attack. Xiao is still going to hang out there, has the Vandal and knows that he's playing up against classics and shorties. Just two classics in this position. There's not really too much to worry about if you're Xiao. You just want to cause a bit of a problem. But again, look at all of these people stacked up on B. Nobody's looking at Heaven. Whilst they do get the kill onto Xiao, they've opened up the site completely. And the rest of the attacking team of PartyParrots are in, it feels like. And they've completely separated players like Embo. He's got to deal with a lot. Oli is a classic. He's got to get peeked out. And Xiao, the only one to die. Never mind, actually. His Stinks goes down too. You start to sense a pattern, I think, when you look at PartyParrots play. Like, they don't just sort of run in and frag out. They don't just try and play the Counter-Strike style of just find contact, kill it, and then push on. Like, they know that there's going to be a lot of pressure towards B. Xiao's going to keep there to keep their attention. It brings 3 people all the way from mid and B heaven onto the site to look towards B main. And it leaves mid open and easy to take for PartyParrots. It's something else when you watch it. It really is. TGL should make a map of it. I hope so. Embo is going to try and hold on to that too, and is going to orbital strike towards mid. Creates himself a bit of space, but doesn't get any well frags. In fact, the pendulum swing allows SSK to get a kill onto Sind, who was approaching from mid in the rope room. Still moving around towards B. Thinks it's going to be holding close because he is expecting that Xiao would eventually show up at some point. He would have the right idea, but it's actually going to be SSK and the rest of PartyParrots again doing the mid play. It feels like it's something that really they can't keep control of. Now it's just up to Replan, who is so far away. We're starting to get a bit of a deja vu, I suppose, from the last map, because the way that PartyParrots are playing doesn't really feel like it's getting punished. Replan manages to get one, but just sort of runs into his death. Maybe the point of saving wasn't really worth it. Maybe he feels that he needs to have more of an individual performance to put his team on the mark at least. And they only managed to do that once in the whole game on Bind, so it has been really tough for them. Same play coming out. Bit of pressure onto B, but straight away Sin just is taking out the fight completely. It's going to be a half buy for PartyParrots, for Too Good for Land, so there's only so much to really sort of expect from them, but immediately they are onto the back foot. Try to push Heaven yet again. The Boombot is going to maybe scout out some intel. Notice that somebody's there at least, and even Replin's pushed on A. Flash is going to come through for SSK, and Embo's trying to hold super close, gets flashed and gets punished for it. Now it's just going to be Alexi on this site. Gonna find more. SSK just peeks it perfectly. Everybody gets a frag. Everybody does damage to this Too Good for Land roster. 4-0. I don't really think that this is Too Good for Land looking shoddy here. I just want to keep singing the praises of PartyParrots because they have been exceptional the last couple of weeks. I think both them and Fabrican have really come a long way as lineups, and with Fish123 looking a very different roster at this time at least than they were in the closed beta, Prodigy not being the same team anymore, I think there's a real opening for a new, sheriff in town, and the CS region, as we know from Counter-Strike, can bring in some really good talent. But so can Finland. This is where Replan is starting to show up a little bit now with the operator. Too Good for Land did look a lot better when they had the operator in play, but SSK just takes it out of his hands near enough straight away. The Resurrect is there to bring back their fallen ally. And it feels like Heaven is giving up time and time again. The showstopper now used from Xiao is going to find the spray and find a tag onto Embo. Dinks is still on the site though. He's taken out by Angel just at the same time. Fake is trying to clear it. It's not going to happen. And Sind having to rotate all the way around. You can even see Dinks rotating in, being the lurker. Could able to get a kill into Angel, but they know roughly where the Sage is going to be. The plant's the more important thing to do. They know that he's going to be there. They're going to try and peek it. Sind gets a second, so now it's a 1 versus 2. Has a rough idea of where Dinks might be coming from. Can't get the mechanical headshot in, though. Dinks just lurking around, getting that intel, gets the frag when necessary. 5-0 for the PartyParrots, and man. Starting to see a bit of a dent form now from Too Good for Land. They are starting to get a bit more damage done. But it is another half buy coming out of the Finnish squad. Trying to save about 2k, 1.5k, 1500 if they can keep some of the money for the next round. The economy is pretty much stacked up now for PartyParrots. Haven't had to save pretty much at all in the game that we've seen so far. Grappling with the Sheriff actually gets the kill onto Dinks. It's a 4v4 now. And Shao does peek the corner where Alexei was holding. Trying to hold on for as long as possible. Embo's now going to be running into Artist and can get the kill. It's going to rotate all the way around, but it's somewhere that SSK is going to be holding, both for the mid push from Rope Room, which is probably where they're expecting Sid to come from. But also Embo now from behind is going to run into Angel very shortly. He's going to take a few steps away to run in there. Sid has made their way onto the site. SSK is going to catch off Embo as they go through. Sid could get a second. Managed to get quite a few frags in this last few rounds, but has to really go for it with a Marshall. It's dropped up to the low ground. I don't necessarily think that PartyParrots were aware of it, but Angel just goes for the peek and gets the headshot. It was about 6 or 7 rounds in until Too Good for Land got off the foot of the board with a round. I do specifically remember seeing 6-0. I think it's fair to say too that Too Good for Land had an easier time getting into the semi-finals than PartyParrots did. Beating Dream Chasers, who did really well in their Group A, they stacked it completely, but fell apart in the quarterfinals against a decent-looking Too Good for Land. A lot of ultimates available now on this attack, though. Angel's able to get quite a lot done, but just get taken out in the protest. Artist is now adding up to a few frags themselves. Completely cleared out mid. You know, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because we've seen how PartyParrots punish Too Good for Land when they take a bit more of a back foot, give up quite a lot of space and respect for this CIS lineup. But when they play close and aggressive there, they just get taken out. Nobody's really been damaged or killed other than the Omen, which is Angel. And all 5 of those ultimates never got to see the light of day in this round. It's looking to be another 7-0. Prodigy is a straight mix. It is at this point. But some of the best individual talent that you could get. Oh my god, that's embarrassing, really. When you have Shao just running up with the knife kill to try and get the kill onto Artist. Onto Replin, sorry. Mixed that up completely. Just went for the knife. Wanted to do something, but it was never going to happen. Still 5 ultimates available for this defense. You can tell that Diggs is not afraid to just sort of poke ahead. And now Rolling Thunder is going to be used onto the B site. Making their way across and even the orbital strike to create a bit of space. Diggs and Fake are able to get a bit done though when it comes to damaging this lineup. Now it's going to be the showstopper yet again available from Shao, who kills Shao. Good job, Shao. It enables Too Good for Land to get their first round on the board. It was very explosive in how they dealt with that. And even then, it was Diggs that got the first blood playing towards A. Neural Theft was used on the attack. And it only really had the orbital strike come out. So much stuff happened there very quickly, though. This time PartyParrots sticking a lot of their players into mid yet again. But it's more that they're going through rope room. Because of the pressure that's been put on B, you can tell that 2G4L aren't really necessarily expecting it. They are usually expecting Diggs to be playing here and causing a lot of a ruckus, but now you can see exactly how awkwardly placed Fake is going to be. Can get the frag onto Artist, but Xiao able to trade for his teammate. The showstopper is available for Replin. He can get the kill onto Angel. It takes a bit of damage, but not too much that's lethal. Now both these players do put a bit of a crossfire in. There's a bit of a crossfire now set up between the two surviving members as the plant is coming for PartyParrots. SSK on the high ground, Shao on site. SSK being sprayed in the smoke. Could be very carefully taken down, but it's Shao that's actually getting quite a lot of damage in. He's the last one alive, and it's going to be a second round for 2G4L as they're going to get this defuse in. Good look at the frags and things start to look a little bit better. Shao is still having a really good game. Too Good for Lan did ask what he had for breakfast to have such a good game on Bind, and he said beer, so did you expect anything less?
This is a nice spot. That goes there.
Diggs gets first contact straight away onto Replin. Must have peeked a very close angle and backed off a little bit. And you can tell, yet again, that Too Good for Lan are not comfortable with how they deal with this. They have to try and touch base in every single way that they can, but it does mean that mid is yet again open for business for PartyParrots to peruse. Angel did go through to A, killed the tripwire, and is moving back, maybe to force a rotation, but Too Good for Lan quite rightly aren't buying it, and they're going to be pushed onto the B site. We do have the boost coming in from Sin that's now stood on top of the wall. I think they're probably going to guess that he is there, but it doesn't matter too much as Angel is able to get the first frag. The positioning is good, but the peak is going to be even better for SSK. I'm just going to use the wall to hop down. Has the spike in hand. Is going to try and spray in, but clearing any trapwires that they possibly can. Just going to be up to Fake that has the rolling thunder. He's still going to go for it. He's going to run into the wall, which is going to hamper a bit of that momentum. Ultimate was squandered and wasted, and it's going to save this round now. PartyParrots are going to give chase. Couple of good rounds, really, for Too Good for Lan recently. But that win streak is put to an abrupt end. Fake saving the operator as much as he can, but he's going to run into the Sage right on this corner. Isn't taking anything with him into the afterlife. Just two more rounds left on this half. Bind ended 11-1 in favour of PartyParrots. It's not going to end that way, but I think PP want to go in 10-2, ideally. Too Good for Lan. This has been a difficult showing. Haven't really had the chance to perform, just because PartyParrots won't let them, it seems. Replan is going to back off. Yet another save. Must have been the 4th or 5th so far on this split map. He's going to back off with the operator. There's a lot of people there with him now as support. Replin's holding it super close. The flash is a good one, but there's just too many people there. And SSK does get the peek onto both the players that we're holding close now. The A site is open for business. You see Embo rotating in the top of your map is now towards ramp, but Xiao is going to be there waiting for him, using the blast pack to get up to the high ground. Now the lurking roll is going to be Angel on this side, and really wasn't an area that we saw Alexei expecting. Now just up to Sin to try and get stuff done. Before I can even finish my sentence, Dinks getting another frag. Really well played from SSK to help his team not only trade for the nice little play that 2G4L set up, but also get the 2 kills to put them ahead. The Resurrect dedicated to bring back the player that was downed. It's been a tough old one as we get into the last round before half time. Replan starts off nicely, but SSK very quickly trades. That reaction was pretty spectacular. SSK is going to put some pressure on to both of these agents. The Showstopper even thrown in to try and put a bit more pressure in, but the Showstopper response is actually really good from Replan. He's able to kill SSK, and the Neural Theft is going to put more pressure on their positioning. Dinks is going to use this now to push on ahead. Has the operator, so can't really take these close engagements. And it's going to get sprayed down to 13 health. It's just going to be Ember now on this B side to push it aggressively. But yet again, all this space is given up for the 3 members now on this attack of PartyParrots. Are going to make their way onto the B site. Kind of surrounded. Sind is going to now retake heaven away from them as they've dropped down to the low ground. Scout out exactly where they are. Should hear the plant relatively soon, or at least here's the clumping and stepping. But it doesn't matter as Artist is still able to get that frag. Now these other members are coming in. Replan gets his third of this round with the operator. The Orbital Strike is going to flush out a few players. And it does mean that it's going to be a 3-9 scoreline in favour of PartyParrots going into halftime. Looking a lot better for 2G4L. But really, not by much. Halftime scores at the doors. It's going to be Dinks and Shao that are top fragging, actually. I really like the way that Dinks plays. I really like the sort of lurking role that the Cypher puts himself onto. He can keep a lot of the attention faced his way, but of course it's going to be played on B. Not quite sure what team is pinging currently. It'd be good to know that because, you know, you can sense some strategies happening. But now it's up for Too Good for LAN. Obviously not going to be any LANs for a while. They will be attacking first. The majority of these players now holding on for dear life. Artist is the first to go down towards A. Yet again, we see the Cypher playing this lurking role. Angel's positioning going to be given up and it's going to back out. And Too Good for LAN. The difference here already is that PartyParrots get a frag, they instantly react off of it. And this time for thinking and the lack of use of mid might catch them out, actually, even though they are a man up. Angel is holding super close. Isn't quite sure exactly where the Cypher is going to be playing, but the way that Alexi handled that was great. Punishes Angel who wasn't expecting it. Now, nobody on this defense is on the A side, so this is going to be a clean execute. It's retake time now for the PartyParrots. They have quite a lot of areas to clear up. They are moving in unison, though. Able to get a couple of frags now to bring this down to 1 versus 2. Now it's just Shao up against Sind, who just spots that at the right pixel, considering the cyber cage went in. Nice headshot frag to get the kill and get another round for Too Good for LAN. Now we're starting to see a bit of a game on our hands. Now we're starting to see Too Good for LAN show us what they've got. Replan is the first to get a frag. Kills Dinks towards B. But Too Good for LAN and still taking this super carefully. Angel is going to try and put a bit more pressure onto mid. Take this aggressively. And Artist is Another one that goes down. The guns aren't really available, but this is a very boisterous off angle that Angel was trying to hold there, just looking down mid, so decides against it. Actually, no, he's going back. He's sort of just slow peeking these angles just in case. Too Good for Land are doing a really good job at just keeping PartyParrots guessing at this point, it feels like. Valorant Worlds in Freak's Basement, please. Oh man, Valorant Worlds would be insane to watch. We barely have an established pro scene in each region. I understand the thought process of sort of like, oh, we need some more endemic orgs in the scene before it becomes more established, but I don't really think that's the case. I think, like, you could... PartyParrots, for example, are an established team, and they're not signed. Now, if he wanted to pick them up, you know, you'd go, oh yeah, that's a fair pairing. And just as I say that, Too Good for Land are able to get the 2 rounds in on this attack. Now PartyParrots are able to buy. That's a rumor, I think. There's 2 rumors happening at the moment when it comes to Fishbowl 2-3. The Scream is a permanent person in their lineup, which I believe. And that roster is going to Team Liquid, which would be cool. Would be really cool. It's just a shame that I think the Scream Fishbowl 2-3 combination isn't working all that well. Oh, SSK! I'm trying to fight you. Of course, you are the last person that I go to when it comes to observing, and gets the ace just like that. All he does is just look down A long and just kills everybody. Who is this? He's 20 years old as well. Angel's like surrounded himself with some of the best CIS talent when it comes to that scene. He is a veteran in the CSGO lineup, and he's just got all of these young players surrounded him, which are probably some of the best mechanically, but can also play the agents really well. And SSK is, I think, the firm example of that. I'm just going to watch him now. Do we need to watch anybody? I don't think so. I mean, it's probably near enough top fragging now. Yeah, 18 and 8. But of course, it's Shao and Dinks to get the first couple of frags now in. I think Navi would be a great signing for PartyParrots. Verse Pro is also a really good one. Yep, that's correct. I think it has to be like a T1 org, you know, like the CIS T1 orgs. Because Force are already in it. I don't know why Force signed Everybody Dance. I'd never really seen much of them, but I haven't seen them since. Shao's in mid. Sind is going to punish that pretty well. But Dinks is holding that angle and gets 4. What are these guys eating for? Well, they're drinking beer for breakfast, apparently, to Shao, but it seems that SSK and Dinks are getting a slice of that too. Absolutely insane. Easiest ace of SSK's life, and Dinks wanted to try and add to it too. It's just a shame that he couldn't get the frag right at the start. That's a player playing with absolutely no fear. I'm telling you. Now the showstopper is going to be used on this attack. Gonna hop, skip, and jump all the way in. Because again, it's the last person I go to. The shot is good, but it doesn't quite catch out exactly where Shao is going to be on this raise. But there's going to be a lot of utility in the slow throw out there. Angel even catching Dinks on that off angle of boom, but I think Replin just assumed that it was his. It wasn't. It was Shao's. So goes super low on health. Is going to hold a really close off angle here. Nobody's going to peek him. They are going to check him, but Dinks could trade for the kill that went on to Shao. Oh, there's just one left. It's going to be Embo, who doesn't have control of the spike. And Errol 50 is going to show up exactly where he's playing. So they can sort of hunt him out. They're all moving away from him. Actually, Angel decides against it. Embo has it all to do. It seems yet again. Gonna clear off this angle closest to him. Angel is right there. He's gonna back off. Thinks he's gonna come through the doorway, and I don't think Embo has the chance to see him. Too many angles. He was looking at ramp too much, and SSK must have baited quite a lot of noise in that general direction. Match point now for PartyParrots to be in this final. The last few rounds have been a great example of why they deserve to be there. Was too good for land. We're bringing it back to a better extent. Much closer game than it certainly was on Bind. But I think it's fair to say that it's been a relative blowout for PartyParrots, and it really just shows their dominance. Now the SSK seems nice. Angel gets the first frag onto the lineup in between mid. We do see this like lurking roll yet again. The brother's going to be pushed by the Sage. He's going to try and take this fight, but Diggs just ends up winning it. Fake, luckily though, can trade and help out. They aren't quite sure where everybody else is, but this is a pretty decent response now. The showstopper is going to be used on Shao. I was looking at the complete wrong person. I'm sorry. There we go. Takes that fight and he's able to get a second. Bit more pressure in, and it's all up now to the last player alive. SSK just, I don't know, accepts his death, just stands there like an absolute wally. I don't think he disconnected. I think it was just him being like, if you kill me, you'll only make me stronger. And that seems to be the case. PartyParrots are going to the finals of the Epulze Valorant Prodigies in very scary fashion, very quick fashion. And man, what a team. What a team. I don't know what to say, chat. I honestly don't know what to say. I am a big fan of these guys. Too good for land, gave it as good as they got. But look at these players. Individually sort of come on, guys. Really enjoyed that game. Saw a bit more out of Too Good for Land, but I just think pound for pound they couldn't keep up. So close game, PugChamp. Much better. And I think Too Good for Land gave it a good go. They've, you know, done pretty decently in a lot of tournaments recently. But this was a game that just separated the men from the boys, right? They looked so good. PartyParrots today really didn't seem to miss a beat. And I think you've got to put good money of them being favourites no matter who they play up against in the other semi-finals. Speaking of which, that will be happening in about an hour and 45 minutes. Just because this game was so quick. It will be at 3 PM CST, that being started from CS versus Prodigy. Things might be a little bit earlier. We, of course, have a stacked game with the finals and such. But I'll be sure to let you guys know if there is a change within there. If we do move that game forward a little bit, if both teams are ready and wanting to play.